right, welcome to a long and long time ago. You're back with another episode with me, Adam, and my cousin Martyn. How's it going, Martyn?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Adam. Really good. Thank you.
Good. Right, a lot of people who are watching YouTube will have seen what just flashed up on screen, which was Martyn's Star Wars room. And we should talk about the elephant in the room.
But I've moved it around a little bit. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, that and something else. Yeah. Do you want, do you want to talk about your latest purchase?
Well, yeah, all right. Then. Well, I put on Twitter about a month ago, I think it was, about how expensive the arcade machine was and how it had gone up £200 since the initial release a few years back. And I was really angry on Twitter about it. I was like, this is disgusting. You know, how can Arcade One Up do this? I'm seriously considering not buying one. Well, you know, I think you know me well enough to know that that was an idle threat, and the credit card soon came out, and I will be paying this back for quite some time. But I couldn't not get the arcade machine from Arcade One Up with the 3 original Star Wars arcade games on, because I mean I know I'm a bit older than you, and you probably don't remember them in the arcades, but
well, I was just going to say I don't think I've played those.
Have you not? I mean, they're very basic and they're very 1980s. But for me, as a kid, I would go and visit my grandparents who lived up in Norfolk by the seaside. And obviously, you know, back in the day, there was arcades everywhere. And I was just as big a Star Wars fan, as you all know, back then as I am now.
Yeah.
And I'd basically just take all my pocket money, run to the arcade while I was on holiday at my grandma's, and spend it all on
it would
either
just
Star
be
Wars,
just be that
Empire
machine,
Strikes Back, yeah, or Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And they did announce this machine a while back, and they cancelled it, and I had got my pre-order back, and then they recently re-announced that they were going to release it. And as much as I protested at the price,
you couldn't not.
Hand on heart, I think I was always going to get it, and as I say, yeah, I had to pull the credit card out, which rarely gets used, to be honest with you. But
that surprises me, knowing what you've done in your Making the Grade series recently.
Yeah, but as I've explained in Making the Grade, I won't, you know, and you as well, you know, I won't spend money I don't have. So I'll either use my wages, you know, money left over from my wages or savings, or I'll sell something in my collection to you know, create
fund it all. Yeah,
exactly. So, but this is something I really, really, really wanted. So yeah, so I've had to move the Star Wars room around a little bit.
Okay. And it arrived today, didn't it? So have you actually had any time to play it since you've built it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I built it about 2 hours ago, and I've been on it pretty much non-stop. I've already got my name on the leaderboards quite a few times.
But it's been on it until I sent you the message, like, come on, we got a podcast to
do. Busted.
Yeah. Right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get into what this week's episode is going to be about. It's Adam's bounty hunt. I've got a few new pickups to talk about. But just as a little recap, my goal was to collect a vintage collection 1 or 2.0 bounty hunters. Now, Martyn quite kindly put a good list together of all the ones that I needed. And I've been working my way through it. And anyone who's seen the last episode will have seen that a couple of astromech droids have crept in there. And we'll crack on, and I'll tell a few more stories as we go, I expect. So so we went to Echo Base a couple of weeks ago, and we both said at the time how there wasn't really a whole lot there for my collection. There were a lot of vintage collection figures, but I couldn't find the ones that I needed. There are a lot of Boba Fett's, Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett's and Return of the Jedi. But the rarer ones that I was looking out for, we couldn't find, could we? So
yeah, they were far and few between, really the ones you were after particularly. And actually, I think we said in a previous podcast, or even it might have been the Echo Base video, that there wasn't really much 1.0 there, was there?
No, there wasn't loads. Um, so yeah, the goal was really to pick up the twin pack Forlom Zuckus, the Grail, the one that I'm still after. Um, couldn't find it there, and I was a bit reluctant, as we both said, to spend any money there, just in case we did stumble upon it. So it was quite hard for me to spend my money. But we did pick up one figure, didn't we? And
We
it
did.
was it was one of the, like we said, there wasn't a massive selection. So it was the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett 2.0 VC186. And ideally, well, I think I said probably in the earlier stages of my bounty hunting, collect my journey, if you like, that I probably wasn't going to get all the variants. I thought as soon as I had the Empire one, that was that really.
Yeah.
Uh, but on the other hand, I didn't really want to come away from Echo Base empty-handed. You know,
No, I think you can get away with that one because, to be honest with you, it's the Empire one. There's a revenge card, there's a Jedi card, there's an Empire card,
yeah,
there's even a rocket firing Star Wars card,
mm-hmm.
all with the same image on the front.
Yeah,
Whereas the one you picked up is a different image, I
different
think.
image.
Exactly. So I think, and it's the same image as a Return of the Jedi card back in the day.
Mm.
So I think I really like the card, to be honest with you. It's
Yeah,
probably one of my favorites. So
yeah,
yeah.
and that's good. Yeah, I do. Um, Now that you've said that, though, because well, I'll get into how much I own paid. It was listed. The guy wanted 30, and I got him down to 25, and it came with the blister pack. So that's something. I mean, I know they're only a couple of quid, but it saves me buying one.
Yeah.
Um, but since getting home, I have seen Return of the Jedi Boba Fett going for a lot cheaper. So I feel like I've probably not done, I've not got a great deal out of that. But then you say that this picture on the card back's different. So did you say there was a Return of the Jedi one like the Empire one?
Yeah, there's when now I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe when the original Kenner cards came out, the first Boba Fett Return the Jedi card was the same as the Empire card.
Hmm.
So that's why the modern vintage collection did that version of Boba Fett. But then later on down the line, they re-released Boba Fett on the Jedi card with a different image, which is the one you've got there. I don't think I've got one close to me to grab, but
Yeah.
I've got the Revenge card, which is basically the same as the Return and the same as
Yeah.
the Empire card. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you were to try and pick up that Return or Revenge card, you'd probably be looking at £100 plus
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
those. So I
It's
think you made the
funny.
right choice.
Well, yeah, it's funny though. I've been looking for a revenge card because I
Mm,
think it would be nice to just have one in the collection.
mm,
Be it Boba Fett or R2D2.
yeah,
It's got to be one of those two,
yeah,
really. And I
yeah.
did suggest we did come across the Death Star, didn't we? Recently, I
Yeah,
stumbled upon it on eBay, and it's obviously got the two that you're missing, Salacious Crumb and the Mouse Droid.
yeah.
And I suggested maybe we go halves on it. You take the two that you want, I'll take the two that I want, and then we sell the rest.
Yeah, I don't
But
think we'd
but
make
you
our
just
money
bought an
back.
arcade machine, so
Yeah, yeah, I don't think we'd make our money back, unfortunately. I mean, maybe if we sold the Slave Leia revenge card, we'd probably make £350 from
yeah,
that if it was in good condition.
yeah,
But the rest of them, well, they're not cheap. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we'd make back the money that he was asking for it. But
no.
it would have been a good idea.
Whilst we're on the subject of the revenge cards, then was it just the Death Star cards that were revenge, or were there other revenge cards that you could get?
In the vintage collection, they were the only revenge cards.
Mm.
They were originally all released as return cards,
Yeah.
but yeah, they were all duplicates of return cards that they put in the revenge. Sorry, the Death Star pack that came from San Diego Comic Con. I think
Mm.
it was 2011, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I just on a memory, I
Yeah.
remember I was collecting the vintage collection, back in 2011,
Yeah.
12, on my initial run. And those Death Star packs were on eBay for like 300, £400.
Oh,
And back then, though, I'm not paying £300 or £400. There's
yeah.
no way I'm paying that. Now you just wish you bought four.
Yeah. Well, it's the same of we've said before many a time about the VC61 Boba Fett prototype.
Mm,
It's the same deal with that. You could
yeah,
have picked up a fortune there really for 50p a piece.
very
So
true.
bit of a shame, but
Yeah,
that's hindsight, I suppose, isn't it?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, at Echo Base, you'd have seen there's a couple of items in the video that I was eyeing up, and it was the Saga Collection IG88 and Bosk cards. And I've decided I'm going to add those to my collection at some point.
Excellent. Darth Wizzy Wizard will be very happy.
He, he's convinced me they've got to come into the collection.
Yeah.
I probably would have tried haggling and getting them on the day that I was there, but I had another little spend, which would be this one, which was the Aura Sing.
Nice. I didn't know you
Yeah,
got that one.
unpunched Aura Sing VC
Oh, unpunched as
73.
well. Fantastic. What's the card condition like?
Very, very good.
Oh,
Yeah, it,
fantastic.
it also came with a blister pack.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
So, and yeah, it's in really good condition. I can't actually see anything wrong with it.
I'm trying to see where mine is. No,
Um,
mine's unpunched. So,
oh,
sorry, mine's punched.
yours
So,
is punched.
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to come over and steal
So yeah, I
that.
picked that one up, and as I say, well, I did tell you the story of it, didn't I? A guy was basically he had it listed on eBay for I think it was about 120,
Hmm.
um, but there were offers to be put out. He's or best offer, I think it said, and I on a whim I just put 80 down on it, and randomly he accepted that. so so I was quite shocked actually that it came through, but I was expecting, well, I wasn't expecting it at all, which is why I was just like, they're not going to go for that, so I can go to Echo Base and have a nice big spend.
Yeah.
It turned out because this was about a week before Echo Base.
That's great
Um,
though, isn't it?
it turned out, yeah, he accepted, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, can I pay you on Saturday? just in case, because I think if I'd have stumbled across the Forlom Zuckus, then there's no way that thing would be in my collection right now.
No, no.
So yeah, so
It
that's the
was
story
fate.
behind that. I mean, it's a good price for it.
It's
I've
very good
seen it,
price
seen
for
it
it.
going for more. So
Yeah, especially unpunched in a good condition.
yeah.
'Cause you have to remember now these figures are all over 10 years old.
Mm,
So
mm,
a lot of unless you 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 do keep them in a blister pack, they're not going to be in as good a condition. So
no.
I think that's a really good buy
Oh,
personally.
good. Yeah. Well, hopefully others will agree, and
Mm,
if you do, leave it in the comments. If you don't, just don't tell me.
yeah.
If you think I could have got it cheaper, just don't tell me, because I don't want to know. Um. Oh, I haven't actually said what my target for that one. I think my target price was 80, but I think I was basing that on on a punched card
Mm,
as well. So because I wasn't expecting really to get an unpunched,
no,
and
you've
I
done
didn't.
well.
Yeah, and I didn't have a target for the Jedi Boba Fett because I wasn't really planning on having it in my collection.
Mm,
So you know
yeah.
that was a good part of the week, and the week sort of was topped off because I managed to pick up a Return of the Jedi, a Leia Bouche
Oh, excellent.
VC134,
Yeah.
and
Where'd you
it
pick that
came
from?
and it came in a blister pack.
I mean, wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't
That's
say
not a
fairer than
bad.
that.
That's not bad going, is it?
That's
Really,
not no,
three buys in this entire in this last couple of weeks, and yeah, all of them in blister packs. So yeah,
they do look good, don't they? All on display
yeah,
like that. I have to say it. I mean, I know you probably don't remember the cards quite as well as I do, but even if you haven't got that nostalgic
Mm,
memory of them, they still display so well.
yeah.
And just having those three up there, they look so good,
Well,
so
this
good.
everyone who's listened will know this is my first foray into collecting probably anything really.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's so far it has been really fun.
Hmm.
And like you say, the way they display is just it's really good. And I just need to get my own Star Wars room now so that I can display them all proudly and to a similar level to you. Maybe not quite that level, but you know, they are lovely, lovely looking cards.
They are.
Yeah. Then, but I keep, as I say, I've said before, I keep looking and searching on eBay for all these different things, and then I'll see something else that I quite like. You know, the Saga collection's actually really piqued my interest a bit, and I've been eyeing up quite a lot
Yeah.
through that. So, you know, there's the Mace Windu droid, there's Darth Vader's droid.
Are you still going to sleep at night thinking about
Yeah, I'm still
eBay?
seeing them in my eyes. I think, like we said, it's it's pretty much all I do in my spare time. I'm just like on the phone, just like, come on,
Yeah.
got to find some cheap ones.
Well,
Um,
I'm exactly the same. You got me into that those Facebook groups, and I don't have Facebook. Well, I do, but I never use it. I'm never on it. The only reason I had it was because I had a VR headset, and you needed to have Facebook in order to
of
have it.
course, yeah, yeah,
And so you were telling me about these groups. So I joined all these groups, and I found myself on these groups all the time
yeah.
because if you're not on them
You
at the
miss out.
moment,
You don't want to
something
miss out, do
no,
you?
exactly. And for the last 7 or 8 days now, I've purposely deleted the app from my iPad so that I can't go on it because it gets a bit too much, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, I think you said it in the last episode. I'm powering through my collection already,
Yeah, yeah,
and so are you. You know,
yeah, yeah.
I think we worked out that you're now what
Well, we haven't
20.
told in. We've still got some new ones that
Oh
we
yeah,
haven't announced yet.
still some
Yeah,
to unveil. So we won't say how far into your collection, but
no,
you're going great guns, really.
I am, but I think you have to remember that both of us probably this is the case. We haven't bought the expensive ones
No,
yet.
yeah, things are going to start slowing down.
Yeah, yeah, it might be one release every month or something.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I didn't say how much I picked up Boosh
Oh
for, did I? I don't
no,
think.
no.
My target was £15, and I got it for 15.
Oh,
So
perfect. And with the
yeah,
blister case as
and
well.
with the blister case, I
Nice.
wasn't expecting that. So
Yeah,
that's another nice little addition.
excellent.
Um, what was I? I was going to say something else about that. I had seen it before. Well, I've seen it around for around about 20. That sort of seems to be the going rate for the Boosh card.
Yeah,
I had seen it once before for £12.50
yeah.
because somebody was trying to get rid of all their figures and they had a flash sale on, which is how I picked up R2, the sensor scope R2.
Yeah.
That was going for £12.50. And the Boosh one had already sold, so it was too late for me on that. But I had to pick up R2, didn't I?
Yeah, we've got your love of Astromechs is well known. I think
Yeah,
after our last, well, we've been doing this 9 months now. I
yeah.
mean,
I think we all know where this is heading, really, don't we? We all know what's going to happen at the end of the bounty hunt. Once I've got those, we all know what's happening.
yeah, I think we do.
I mean, yeah, well,
We won't say it out loud though.
the question is though, because the problem that I've got for those is I've got the two carded ones, and I think I'd always pictured just going loose on if I was to go Astromex.
Hmm.
So it's going to be a case of what can I find carded now, I think, if I do decide to take on that challenge next.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think as well. I think there's 4 Astromechs in the vintage collection, and two of them are
Exactly.
R2D2. So
I
in
think
fact,
three of them. Is that right?
there's the sensor scope. Yes, you're right. There is three. Yes, there's
Hmm.
the sensor scope. There's the Star Wars card one, which is I think it's just a plain R2,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah,
there's the Jabba's drink serving
that's right.
R2D2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's R5D4, and then
Which is
there's
really pricey.
yeah. Whereas that's quite an early one, and then there's
Yeah.
R2. SHW, was it? Or
That's right. Yeah, that's
yeah,
the red one that I've got
that's right. Yeah, so I think that
already. So,
so there's not many in the vintage collection, so you'd probably be able to collect them carded, but they wouldn't be quite as pricey,
hmm.
possibly.
Well, there's that, but then there's also the Saga ones, as I've mentioned before,
Yeah,
which is what I'm eyeballing, really.
yeah, yeah. The thing is, you could expand the bounty hunt out to other waves, or sorry, other
Yeah,
what's the word I'm looking for? Other
the
collections.
lines. Yeah,
Yeah, other lines. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, uh, as I've said before, I picked up. I'm I'm trying to collect vintage collection because of the way they look. They're a nice card, and there's some that I'm not fond on, like the episode one card and things like that. So
Yeah,
it's only going to be a case of collecting them if I like the look of the card.
definitely.
Um, what was the other thing I was going to say? Okay, yeah, there's the announcement of Cad Bane coming to the collection as well, isn't there?
Yeah, he's in the
But
pipeline
he's in
apparently.
the pipeline, so that's going to be another bounty hunter to put on when the time comes,
Yeah.
and hopefully I'll be able to pick him up nice and cheap because he'll be
Yeah,
new.
get him pre-ordered as soon as I'll let you know as soon as he's
Yeah,
comes up for
yeah,
pre-order. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So that'll be good. That'll be good.
excellent.
Um,
You've done well this week.
Otherwise, I think that's been a pretty good week.
Yeah.
I've picked up a few, but you know, although I'm not spending crazy money on it, my wallet is going to have to stay shut for a little while.
Mm. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because well, other things are going on, and
Yeah.
at the moment, it's well, as you said, we're getting to the point where the ones left to buy are going to be the pricey ones.
That's right. And there's
So
we haven't set ourselves time limits, have we?
no,
So
there's no
you know,
rush on it at
no,
all.
exactly. And when we were talking before we, started recording, we've got a lot of videos, podcasts, whatever you want to call them, in the pipeline to do anyway. So,
Yeah,
I think it'd be nice just to do these when and if we need to do them.
yeah, yeah. We're not really struggling for content, are we?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, no. So that's good. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll leave you with the graphic for anyone watching yeah, I'll leave you with the graphic so you can see what I've collected so far. And otherwise, that's the end for this week. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe as always. And yeah, tell your friends, share the word. Um, and we'll catch you in the next one. We'll see you later.
Bye.